Welcome back, guys. I know you are really curious about diving into Ableton Live Essentials. I know that. But before we move any further, I would just like to tell you how you can set up your home-based DAW to produce music. Like from DAW, I mean to say Digital Audio Workstation. Digital Audio Workstation is as referred to a computer-based editing and recording software as Ableton Live. Well, DAW is also referred to a practical space like a studio, working studio where you edit and record your audio. To set up a digital audio workstation, you would need a couple of components that would definitely ease your work while you produce music. So let's start with the system, the machine. You need to have a PC or a laptop that has a 8 GB of memory and 500 GB of the storage. Core 2 Duo is the processor, the minimum processor you need to run your system smoothly, and it should be a 64-bit. Yes, 64-bit of Windows or iOS will run Ableton Live. If it's 32-bit, Ableton Live won't run on that system. It would create a problem. It won't run. It would simply not run. So that's your minimum PC requirement. Second would be your external hard disk. I recommend the external hard disk or a solid state drive. It's better not to load your CPU while you're working, while you're producing music. The third is the audio interface. What is audio interface? An audio interface allows the user to record and play back the audio on your computer. Usually there are built-in converters in the laptop, in your PC, in your computer to give you a better sound quality, but that quality is not enough. The audio interface will sound better than your built-in audio converters in a computer and allows you more options for recording and playback. Audio interface allows you to connect devices like MIDI controllers, MIDI keyboards, your microphones, your studio monitors, etc. Now, most of the time we face problem, what audio interface should we buy? The simple answer to this is you need to think what gears you need to connect with the interface. How many inputs and outputs you want? It's simple as it is. All the interfaces are good. Some are cheap, some are budgeted, some are really costly, but you need to check out the inputs and the outputs. Like for example, if I have these synths, I need to connect it. How many input ports I need? How many output ports I need to connect my studio monitors? If I have one pair of studio monitors, I need 2 outputs. If I have 2 pairs of studio monitors, I need 4 outputs. So this is the way you need to configure it out, and you need to check it yourself what kind of audio interface you want. It is very, very simple. You need to check out inputs and outputs and just go for it. My recommendation on an audio interface would be, first of all, check your input and outputs, how many input and outputs you want. Second of all, buy a gear, an audio interface which has extra input and outputs. You never know, in future you might end up with more gears in your studio or maybe in your workstation. So you need to have more inputs and outputs whenever you're going for an audio interface. I would prefer to buy an audio interface with a 5-wire connection because it has got the good transfer rate, good signal transfer rate. And right now I'm with the 5-wire audio interface that has, I think, approximately 96 kilohertz of sampling rate. So you need to also check that. Check the sampling rate, check the inputs and outputs, and you are ready to go. The next is your microphones. These can be really confusing sometimes. There are 2 types of microphones, dynamic and condenser. Dynamic microphones are more affordable, more rugged, all-purpose microphones used to record drums, guitar amps, or acoustic instruments. On the other hand, condenser microphones are expensive, fragile, and good for vocals. They need extra power to work, So we need to power on plus 48V button switch on our audio interface, that is known as phantom power. I'm using this Blue Yeti microphone. I simply love it. This is the best USB multi-directional condenser studio mic you can find anywhere. This is amazing. As you can hear my voice without any colorization. I don't put any effects on my videos, audio to just enhance it. This gives me a very natural, perfect voice whenever I speak on this mic. The next is your MIDI device. MIDI device sends MIDI notes or chords commands to your system. There are different varieties of MIDI controller that are available in the market. What to buy is the question. This again depends upon your needs. Basic thumb rule: buy a MIDI controller with lots of knobs, keys, switches. That would come handy when we go further. For this course, I recommend Ableton Push 2, or you can go for products like Native Instruments Complete Control series or Novation Launch Key series. For more pocket-friendly options, I would suggest Akai or maybe a brand called Cadence. This is the Cadence I have. It is 61 keys MIDI mappable synth, and it is, I guess, 5 octave long, and it's got pretty decent 4 mappable knobs and 6 switches in it. Plus I have these mod wheels and pitch wheel. These are all touch strip, and it's pretty pocket friendly. So you can look out for this brand. It's called Cadence. You get small synth also. Yeah, this is one more thing which I would like to share. It all depends upon your workstation size. If you want small MIDI synths, you can go for it. The larger the size is better because you get different octaves at the same time. The bigger is good, but again, you need to check out your space, what kind of space you have in your studio, right? So the last but not the least, we would need a good pair of studio monitors or a pair of headphones. If you don't have these equipment, don't worry, a decent pair of headphone would definitely work to understand the workflow in Ableton Live. So let's move ahead. To set up the workstation, simply connect your audio interface, then connect your external drive. Now connect your MIDI controllers via USB cable to the computer. If you're using an older version of MIDI controller, that can be connected to sound interface through MIDI cables or MIDI ports. If the audio interface does not have a MIDI interface, then you need to purchase a standalone USB MIDI interface. If you're going to record vocals or instrument in live, you'll need to connect your microphone to the interface. Don't compromise on the quality of the cable. Good microphone cable would definitely last for a long time. Plug the female end to the microphone output and the other into the live input on the sound interface. If you're using a condenser mic, you need to power on the microphone by switching on the phantom power button present on the sound interface, usually marked as plus 48V. You can connect your guitar or bass instrument by connecting them directly to the interface via TRS 1/4 inch cable. Last but not the least, plug in your headphones to the headphone output present on the interface and then connect your audio monitors to the output section on your audio interface with balanced cables. In case you don't know what is the difference between balanced cable and the unbalanced cable, we will leave you a link below in the description. Click on this and you'll go to a webinar which we recently hosted. It tells you all the details. What is the difference between balanced cable and unbalanced cables? What are the different cables used in the studio or DJing purpose? Like, all the details are there for you to need to know about the cables. So you can definitely click on the link below. If you don't have extra USB ports on your laptop or a computer, I would suggest you to buy an external USB hub. A Belkin USB hub is a better option. It is really robust and gives you a low latency signal in your studio. So go for it. You need to have a USB hub to connect, all the devices together, because you don't find much of the USB ports on your system until unless you have an iMac. So so that's it. You need to have a USB hub for this. Now when everything is connected, you should really be taking care of your equipment whenever you are switching it on and whenever you're switching it off. In order to boot up your system in a correct order, first switch on your power source, second your audio interface, third your MIDI controllers, fourth your computer, and last your speakers. Your speakers are really fragile, so make sure whenever you're starting up, you're booting up your system, your workstation, you need to switch on your speakers in the last. Now when switching off your system, make sure to switch off your speakers first, second your computer, third your MIDI controllers, fourth your audio interface, and last your power source. So these were the basic components of setting up your home-based DAW. No need of getting all these things. If you just have a laptop and your headphones, you are ready to go. Don't worry about it. Till now, if you learned something and you like this series, please subscribe, please share to your friends, and please share to all who are just sitting idle. They can do many things with this software. They can actually produce beautiful music sitting at home with just a laptop and a headphone. So share it, subscribe the channel, and I'll be seeing you in the next video, in which I'll be telling you what is the correct way to install Ableton Live and how to authenticate the key of Ableton Live, and what is the right way, settings, right preference settings in Ableton Live. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye and take care. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn with me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.